I can't hear you up here. You gotta do it. My thought, right, is that not off to a great start, is it?
No, this kind of reminds me of like when Joe Rogan has like some random dickhead on. They just kind of like talk the whole time. You gotta let Joe ask the questions. But for Gumtown, the first episode, it was like a separate group of 3 guys with Nick Mullen, and they got into an argument, and they deleted like the first 6 episodes, and then like episode 7 is he brought Adam on because he didn't have anyone else to like do
Oh my
the show.
God!
And Adam was like a guest host.
That's weird.
And then eventually that.
Anyway, my thought was, so I grabbed the microphone first. So this is gonna work, so you can't hear anyone. So I was thinking, I'll voice record with my phone up to my face, right? And you'll voice record with your phone, right? And we can sync them up with an easy clap.
Yeah, I was gonna say we can sync them up with an easy call that way. I have a topic.
You have a topic?
I have a topic.
Okay, first let's do the clap. Let's do the clap first.
Clap. All right, that's the clap. Let's count it down. That's fine. Okay.
All right. Anyway, there we go. Now then, we're both.
So my topic is that I've been trying to grow a beard.
You've been trying to grow a beard? How's that been going for you?
You tell me. Not great. This is a month.
That's a month?
Yeah, this is a month.
Man.
I was told give it like I googled how long should I give it? Like like an honest try. It seems like 2 months like minimum, and like 4 months is like it seems like after 4 months you should be like, all right, I'm gonna pack it up.
So I was not paying attention because I was really thinking it'd be funny if I like interrupt you with a bit, if I was just like doing like a bring, hold up, I'm getting a phone call here, hold up. That would be kind of funny, wouldn't it?
Why would you do that to me? Do you think if we had like a famous podcast, people would like me more or you more? And well, first of all, I guess it really depends on what our audience is like.
Yeah.
Because if we got like Cumtown audience kind of thing,
they'd like you.
They'd like me for saying edgy stuff.
If we were like famous musicians, I feel like they'd like me more. Because I'm what a teenage girl would like more.
Yeah.
I feel like you're not quite the teenage girl demo.
Yeah, you're kind of like, you're very nice.
I'm very
You're very like, I stand up for women's rights.
I do.
And like a teenage girl's like, an adult man who thinks that I should have a voice. We all know women, they don't know what they're talking about.
You're on tape.
They don't know what they're talking about.
You're on tape right now, Dontel. You're on tape.
Women have no idea what they're talking about. A woman has never had a thought before. It's never happened.
You're good. It's a hot mic. If you were on CNN right now, it'd be over for you.
Well, no, now we can have Dasha from the Red Scare come debate me about women.
Oh. I don't think she likes women.
She doesn't?
No.
I really don't know what to think, because I kind of figured that Red Scare would kind of be, I don't know. I thought it would be like just, I don't know what I fucking expected. But I wasn't expecting Dasha to be a fucking trad wife, is what that girl is telling me.
Yeah, I mean, it started as like a socialist podcast, as based on the name.
Is it Adam's fault from...
No, I don't know. I mean, she's just kind of devoted to that whole kind of being a little reactionary as kind of a meme. You know, like they had Alex Jones on or whatever one time.
You ever seen him young? You ever seen him young?
No, I haven't.
He's kind of a handsome guy.
He's kind of handsome.
Kind of a handsome guy.
You look a good-looking old guy.
Who, you?
You.
Me? There's been like a couple old Italian guys at the Y where I'm like, that's kind of what I think I'm going to look like.
Oh, yeah. I was at ShopRite recently, right,
Yeah.
with my dad. We were getting chorizo.
Chorizo.
And they asked, like, the butcher guy, like, do we have any chorizo here? And he's like, no, you don't have any chorizo. And then we found the chorizo. And so my dad goes back to the guy and he's like, we found the chorizo. You know, I don't know why he did this. But the guy came out and was like, that's not good chorizo. You don't want that. You don't want to have it. I mean, it's from the guys who make the sweet Italian sausage. It's not the stuff you want. It's not real chorizo.
What does he mean, the fucking guys who make the sweet Italian sausage? First of all...
But I was like, that he kept working at Wegmans for like 20 years.
Yeah. There is a reality where I just worked there until I was an old man. Because they give you like benefits.
This was like a 50-year-old Italian guy who was like, it's not the good chorizo. You gotta go to the Mexican market.
Yeah, he means Viva Ranch, and they have really good chorizo. They have really good deli meats there.
All right.
But
this is dark end Donatello.
Huh?
It's just dark end you know. Serious adult.
Yeah, because when I was working at the Weggies, I was having the thoughts like, what if like this? I was really like devoted to like working there for a little bit because like I was making a lot of money, so I was kind of like I could like mess up and like be here for like 40 years and be like, oh fuck, like that happens to people.
Yeah.
I was like, that's not a good reality. I didn't plan to get fired, but I was kind of planning to maybe quit sometime soon.
Onward,
Not
upward.
planning to get fired. They don't know I got fired at the YMCA. They don't know.
We're on hot mic now.
That's fine. I've been thinking about like just dropping it on them. I've already worked here. They wouldn't. I don't think they would fire me if I told them no.
No.
I don't think because they do seem to like me a lot.
Yeah.
They gave me that raise in 3 months, 50 cents, 50
3
cents. Yeah, because they do the annual review at the end of the year. So everyone gets like an eval, and you might, if you're like have a
You've
good
been doing
evaluation, huh?
You've been doing good?
They gave me evaluation, even though they weren't supposed to. Even though I've worked here for 3 months. Anyway, you say something. You say something interesting, and everyone will be like, August is a really in deep depth guy.
I've been thinking about stuff recently.
What have you been thinking about?
I've been thinking about poptimism. You know what poptimism is?
No.
Poptimism is a theory of sort of music criticism and review. Because in like the 90s and before, there was a bias in critical thought and like journalism towards rock music.
With like the Satanic Panic?
Well, no, it was just that critics only talked about rock music. It was called rockism, derisively, where they only talked about rock music. And so people were like, we should talk about pop music with the same sort of critical lens as rock music.
And they were just like, no.
Well, it won. No, and poptimism won.
Popism won? I feel like
all the music journalists all talk about like Dua Lipa and stuff now, who talks about rock music anymore? Rock music isn't really a thing either.
That's true.
But
let's talk about the way you fucking put your cups on soft surfaces and act like they're safe. That
Fine,
scares me
move the
every
cup?
time. Look where mine has been the whole time. Hard suitcase.
hold up.
And
Close on mic. Anyway, I was saying an important point was that I was thinking, because poptimism is one, but I don't think people really want that, honestly. Because if we acknowledge that pop music is critically good, we have to acknowledge that most of it isn't good music, And I don't think like a K-pop stan, even if they want their music to be acknowledged critically, it's not because they want people to say it's bad. They want people to say it's good, Critics are really kind of only a thing that's there for... It's like people talking about the Mario movie recently, Where they're like, critics don't get that it's just a silly movie you turn your brain off to,
well, that first of all, that turn your brain off thing is bullshit. If you want to been saying this where he wants a game where he can just turn his mind off and play, I don't like that. When everything I do, I kind of want to be good at. Maybe not the best, but I want to do well at the game I'm playing.
My parents do it with TV sometimes, where my mom gets home from work and she's tired and she just turns on Frasier or whatever, And it's just it's decompressing.
I can't do it.
You can't do that.
I can't.
I don't really do it either.
I mean, there is stuff that's not good that I like.
Yeah, but do you like it for reasons? I mean, do you have a critical understanding?
I mean, I watched The Office after dunking on it for so long, and I did enjoy watching it, but I felt an attachment to certain characters, and that's kind of what I was invested in.
Yeah. I just don't feel people complain about critics not liking the Mario movie. I don't feel like they want to think critically about the Mario movie.
But criticism, as an industry, is dead. No one gives a fuck what anyone thinks about the Mario movie, really. When no one, before they go to see a movie, Googles the Rotten Tomatoes meter. Yeah. And is I wonder what these guys thought of this.
But people
film.
talk about it for some reason. I don't get why people talk about it.
They throw it around, but the fact of the matter is if people agree or... Because the Mario movie got a bad tomato score, right?
Well, it got bad critical score and a good...
Yeah, so people are I don't give a fuck. That's bullshit. But when people want to dick suck a movie, they'll be 99 on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah.
It's fucking amazing.
That's what I mean. I feel like people only care about it when it's when it's an accessory to the thing they like already being good. You know?
Criticism is fake.
It's not about criticism there. And so I just don't feel most people don't care about criticism.
But you also have YouTube channels where it's just random guys at this point who are just giving their critique on the Shrek series.
Yeah.
There's just so many avenues of criticism that it's I really cannot be bothered to Google what anyone else thinks of this movie.
Although YouTube videos are never good criticism.
There's some of them that are interesting to
find.
watch because they'll bring up, not that I think those guys are right, but it's interesting to see their take.
Yeah, I mean, because I was playing all the BioWare games. I was playing all the BioWare games, I'm telling the audience here. Right?
Yeah.
All the zero people in it. But their last game, Anthem, was apparently very bad.
Wasn't it the mix? I'm going to be stuffy.
I think so, yeah. I think it was the mech. And it was a garbage game. Apparently.
I remember that game coming out.
And so I was like, I wonder why it's bad.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, maybe I'll Google a video of someone talking about it and like see what's like the problems with the mechanic stuff. And I Googled it. And all the videos were like, I tried playing Anthem in 2023. And I was like, and I actually had a lot of fun. You know, the shooting's pretty engaging. You know, there's
People
a lot of
fucking dunked on that game.
Yeah, but none of them were like getting into like the mechanics of it or the story.
I want to say it came out around the same time as Infinity War, or not Infinity War the movie, but the Call of Duty game.
Maybe, yeah.
Infinity War or Infinite War or something like that. But that was the game where you could boost around, and people fucking hated that game too.
Yeah.
I pre-ordered
The
it.
best one I saw, which was still not great, was the I Hate It. Remember I Hate Everything?
No.
He was a YouTuber.
No.
But he had one, but he like, I just didn't agree with his critiques, and I was like, I'm not going to finish this. He was like, got halfway, and he was like, I don't like the story, because it had lots of random terms that were made up for it, because it's a science fiction story, and I was like, I love when they have made up terms. in
No.
sci-fi.
I mean, if it's like...
I love that shit.
I don't like random bombs dropped. I mean, it depends.
I like when the world is like, I have a fantasy world and it's full of like new terms for stuff, you know? Like, oh, you're the Tal Vashash or Ton Hayden. I love that shit.
I mean, it has to fit into the context of the world. Like in The Walking Dead, different groups will sometimes call the zombies different things. And that's kind of cool because it's not like a super important detail, but it's just like a little world building thing.
Yeah.
I like light world building. I don't like shoved in my face like brand new thing. Here it is. Look at it.
It depends. But I saw him like playing that and I was like, no. I'm not going to rock with this.
I'm trying to think. You should tell the audience of your concept of the self versus the collective.
Oh my God. We're going to get into this argument?
No, you should just tell them what you think.
Well, I just don't think there's much of a self. I think that, I can't find a definite point where you end and everything else begins.
God.
I mean, you're so pierced by the world, and in turn the world is so pierced by you. There's not really a clear dividing point. I mean, you can't exist outside of the context of the world, right? And the world kind of exists within your context. I mean, you have an impact on it. So if there's this sort of dialectical back and forth going on, there's not really a clear division. There's maybe a gradient, but I think you're part of sort of a unified whole. And not in like a wooey sense, but like a literal, like you're a human being in a mob kind of way.
We should have started these when I was having a existential crisis. So I could come in here and just be like the whole time, like, what do you think happens if you die? What do you think happens? Like, imagine like if you just die. That would have been a fun like month of podcasts. That would have been a fun like 3 months. I was dying. Yeah, I Googled how it's supposed to go, and it's like most of the people just really get into religion. It's really annoying.
Weird.
So I was like,
I feel like everyone does that at some point.
No, everyone definitely does that.
And I feel like most people don't get into religion. They just kind of keep on going.
They keep on.
I feel like the default response is just like keep trucking. You know,
just keep on trucking, brother. The school, I'm not going to say the school I go to now, and you said my name a couple times. I don't really care, but probably in the future I'll probably try to be Dawes.
Dawes.
Online.
We can edit it and post in this one.
No, it's fine. You can just leave it. But
I don't think we're going to put this on.
I'm also not going to say the school I go to. But they have like the church right there, and like they have like service. I might like and go one time just to like, experience it.
Yeah, I'd go to like a, not to be kind of Dasha mode, but like a Latin mass, where they're like speaking in Latin the whole time.
That's fucking lame.
Really?
Because nobody here understands it. At least if I went to like a service at the school, I'd be like, I understand what they're talking about. Not that I'm going to get into it, but like, I don't know.
I think the Latin would be cool. I think it'd be cool to hear that, like the lorem ipsum type shit,
I literally, like, my body's just trying to get rid of like all the mucus that was in my body where that's cold. So I just have to blow my nose a couple times a day.
D. I'm gonna call you D.
D. Call me Joe Hogan. Joe Hogan.
Call me Snake.
Would you
Call me Snake.
I had a good would you rather before when I was in the bathroom, but like I totally
Would you rather
forgot.
die?
You got rid of the tushy.
I did?
Yeah, it's not in there no more.
I think it was too cold.
I'm telling you, I went to like
Recline.
I went to like a Chrysler or something, like office space to do a job one time. And they had like the robot toilet. And it was like amazing. It was honestly amazing.
Yeah, no, I think those are cool.
I mean, it was just the tushy, but really good where you could like aim it and spray it. And then it had like a heater to like dry your asshole.
The problem is I've never done one of those before.
Uh-huh.
So I'm kind of scared.
They're fine, really.
I'm just like worried about what would happen.
I mean, it's not going to go up your asshole. It's going to just like...
I know, but I don't know.
It's fun. I was like... I had to be like 17, and I was like, "You're fine, you're fine." I was washing my hands afterwards. I was like, I thought to myself, "That's crazy because I really don't gotta wash my hands. I didn't touch nothing."
That's the technique. I don't know. I kind of rock with toilet paper.
Toilet paper's all right. I've had a lot of bad toilet paper. Is a problem.
Yeah, the right ply.
Yeah, it's got to be soft, you know. But I feel like, well, I use wipes, so.
I'm glad we're getting into this in our first 20 minutes of podcast.
You don't use the wipes?
Is the wipes. I'm glad this is our starting note right here. This is what we're going to begin with.
Yeah.
Is the wipes.
Do you use the wipes?
No.
I use wipes.
Okay, I shouldn't answer this question.
Why?
I shouldn't be answering this on a podcast.
What are the consequences? What are the consequences? They know.
What if someone listens to this? Yes.
Adam shit himself on Cumtown.
Okay. I mean, do you want to be like him?
If I could take Adam's life over mine, probably. I mean, he's kind of he's the perfect level of famous.
I would not want to shit myself.
You wouldn't you're telling me you wouldn't shit yourself to be Cumtown famous. If I told you we do a podcast tomorrow, you right shit yourself right at the start, we're Cumtown level. You wouldn't? You're so full. I would shit myself twice. It's so easy.
I'm not going to answer that.
I would shit myself.
I can't answer these questions.
If they were you have to shit yourself to stop the Holocaust, I would shit myself. Would you?
Because this is the dying kid with cancer wants to say the N-word type situation here. You can't do this.
I definitely think they let that kid say the N-word. I think they definitely say, I guess, first of all, you're telling me the Make-A-Wish people show up, they're willing to shell out whatever. You think they're going to draw the line to this kid getting a free, You
think that's okay?
I mean, they don't got to pay anything for it. He's going to die anyway.
But do you think morally that's okay? If it's his dying wish to say the N-word.
Honestly, if you're asking me what I actually think morally, I don't give a fuck. Yeah, let him say it. Let him blast that shit. What? You're not going to stop the dying kid. Who's going to check him? God? What are you going to do? Beat him up? Go ahead, beat him up.
Beat him up.
But he's going out either way, so I think he's just going to say it. I did wonder, what do they do if the kid asks, they want to live as their wish? What do you think they reply to that? Do you think it happens, or do the kid kind of gets to,
I think the kid gets it by the point of a Make-A-Wish. I think if I was a kid, right, and Make-A-Wish shows up, I'm like, oh, I'm fucked.
Yeah.
It's over.
Well, those first couple kids didn't know it was up. They were just awesome,
you
dude.
think the first kid who got Make-A-Wish was like, damn, this is crazy.
He had no idea that
and then just died.
A lot of I wonder what the rate is for them dying. Do you think most of those kids die?
They must all die.
No, not all of them. I've seen some people who are I was a Make-A-Wish kid. I asked for this.
That's the best outcome.
Yes, no.
You get Chris Hemsworth to show up to your house and give you a hug, and then you survive.
I think Paul Rudd keeps
sick.
in contact with the kids who don't die.
That's sick.
Or until they die, I guess.
That's what I was thinking about because I was going over the workplace safety manuals.
Right.
For the new job I have.
Yeah.
And there was so much about COVID. And I was like, how funny would it be if I got COVID now? That's gotta suck.
When I got sick, I did kind of feel the need to let everyone know it wasn't COVID. I did kind of feel like an obligate. I did.
People do that now.
Yeah.
I got the flu. Don't worry, I checked.
It was a little stressful. No one fucking asked me either, which I I woke up sick and I went and got a test. And I was like, all right, let's just get to the bottom of this now.
Really? That's so weird. I woke up sick and I was like, fuck, I guess I'll just be like this. And I just
Irresponsible.
Super spreader moment.
People didn't fucking learn from the washing the hand things. I always wash my hands good, but I was in the bathroom right after class the other day, and this kid from my class walked in and took a piss, and then he walked up to the sink, had a moment, and then walked out. And I was like, he knows that I know he didn't wash his hands, and I'm in class with him.
Damn.
He doesn't feel any kind of shame.
A lot of people don't. They just go for it.
I don't want him touching me. I don't want him touching anything that I touch. I don't know. These people are fucking dirty.
It's pretty minimal. I mean, bathrooms are not that dirty, honestly.
I don't give a you can't walk out the bathroom without washing it.
No, you can't. You can't. But still, I mean,
especially a public bathroom, even just touching the door to get in is detrimentally, I don't know. I don't want to touch that. You got to think about this shit because, some people got stuff that apparently I found out about fucking lice. You can get that shit from laying in someone's bed.
Yeah.
That's fucking insane. And that can get if they got it on their backpack and you touch their back, there, you got it there. Fucking insane. I knew it was bad. I knew you gotta watch out for it. But I didn't think it was
You ever had lice?
No, I've never had lice.
I never had lice either.
I never had a lot of shit. Like, I didn't have the flu till I was like 20 years old, and then sabotaged me on purpose. I was so fucking mad. Did you have chicken pox?
No. You don't get chicken pox anymore. You get vaccinated.
Yeah, I got the vaccine for that.
Like, quickly.
When I was at the doctor's appointment, she was like, you're due for your tetanus. Do you want to get it? I was like, yeah, sure, I guess. And I figured we'd schedule it. And she like...
Figures like...
So we went on with the rest of the appointment, and then like she left, and I thought the thing was over, and she came back, and she's like, oh, here's your shot. Are you ready? And I was like, oh, I fucking thought we meant like we were going to schedule one. I didn't know you meant like right now. I was like, I guess.
It would have been funny if they were like, you want your shot? And they're like, sure. And they just like stabbed it in you right there. Like, no hesitation. Like, all right, let's go.
Do you think people should be allowed to be like more of a dickhead? Do you think people should be allowed to like just do shit like that?
Sometimes, yeah.
Because like you're not going to die. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No.
I think people should be allowed to fight more also. I think we need to bring back some scuffling.
I don't want to fight ever. No. People should be allowed to be a little rude.
No, you know what? I think scuffling needs to come back because, like...
You think it's scuffle era?
Yeah, you know what? Because I do think scuffling was, like, a very important boundary setting kind of thing. I feel like people kind of... A lot of times in conversation, I'll be like, I'm not doing this. I'll, like, say, like, I'm not having this conversation with you right now. I feel like in an older time, that would have been, like...
You'd, like, call a duel?
Well, now it's like, if you keep, like, we're going to have to fight. I don't know. I feel like scuffling was like a healthy boundary. Like,
there are other ways of dealing with your problems besides fighting.
Sometimes it's like, leave me alone. This social interaction is over.
Yeah.
And then from there, if you like cross that social boundary, we should be able to scuffle. Not like kill anyone.
You get like a second person in there, and you're like, you got to help me deal with this
Nah, you got to
person.
scuffle. You've never been in a fight before?
No.
You never punched anyone in the face?
No.
Unbelievable. I think it's kind of like... That's kind of like just like a base human experience, like punching someone.
So it's taking a shit. Like,
yeah.
I don't want to take a shit.
Well, some things I feel like everyone used to do is like hunt their food is one big thing. Gather and like grow stuff.
Yeah, that stuff sucked.
I think everyone should have to give it a try.
Sucks. I mean, we stopped doing it.
At some point, I think it would be cool if I went hunting for just for like one time and like ate it and like, you know.
Wouldn't you go gathering too?
Yeah. Another thing would be like gather like stuff. Like supplies and shit, like mushrooms and like fucking cilantro. I don't know. A thing I kind of want to do is like spend like maybe a summer, I don't know, that kind of period of time farming or something. Or I told you that one time, like I kind of wish like I could do like one of those trips where they like farm tuna for like a few months. Like I know it sucks, but like I kind of want to go on like one of those little shitty journeys.
You want to go on a little bit? You know, there comes a time in every man's life when the ocean calls out for him. You know, the distant shores scream and he finds himself in a whaling pit.
I don't know.
Call me Ishmael.
You don't want to kind of like have like some sort of like adventure of some sorts?
I would go on an adventure, yes, but I would like to do it with modern comforts as well.
You know, the problem is the shitting in the woods for me. I don't really know how I feel about like squatting over a hole and like having a dirty asshole for the next like 3 days.
That's true. That does
so
suck.
that is kind of where I draw the line.
That's what I was thinking about dogs. Mm-hmm. It sucks.
They don't have butt cheeks.
They have to go outside to go to the bathroom. If it's raining right now, you need to go outside while it's raining and take a shit.
My dogs are so small that like they don't like being in the rain because it's like they're just so small. It's like a lot for them.
Yeah. This is a very scatological podcast so far. You know, Freud has something to say about this.
Well, I was thinking about it. Like we have pretty like genuine conversations. Yeah, and I talk with Robert, and we'll have like pretty like intense dialogue. I was like, people do talk like. It's not like, I don't know, podcast is kind of weird because you have to wonder, like, when you're watching, like, I don't know, let's say Bobby Lee. Do you think when he's having, like, an intense conversation, he's thinking, like, wow, this is great for the podcast? And he kind of, like, fuels the flame for that reason? Or do you think they let these naturally organic conversations play out?
It's got to be a little both.
I always kind of wonder.
They got to be, like, I mean, if you're, like, an interviewer type,
right,
and you must be, like, trying to go somewhere, you know? You have, like, ideas, and you're like, oh, let's develop this. I mean, like, comedians, you know, they'll be like, you know, let's get the bit going. You know, they kind of like flesh you out a little bit.
Just a bit.
You know, they do the yes and kind of improv type beat. You know,
I suppose. I mean, I think when I like don't know what to say, I go, what do you think? Like, what do you think?
I hate that so much.
Well,
I hate that so much.
I kind of think
I don't think anything.
I think the way I kind of talk is I kind of just like all my ideas. Here they are. Now, like, what are you thinking about this thing we're talking about? Sometimes even I can't tell, like, sometimes I'll be talking to someone and I'll like, I'll say something. I'm like, I'm not sure if I like that's like honestly what I wanted to say, or like I was kind of looking for a specific answer when I asked that question.
Oh yeah, no, I lie all the time. I
It's
lie.
not on purpose, but I'm like just not sure like if that was an organic question.
No, I'll say shit that's lies on purpose to say the thing I want.
Why would you do that? Oh, like you'll kind of like lead the conversation in a specific way.
I have a bad habit of arguing and just saying things I don't believe.
Why would you do that? Why would you do this?
But I'll just go for it.
I remember you doing that in like middle school. Terrible.
I also just lie on purpose. It's funny sometimes.
How could you do this?
I love gaslighting.
I'm trying to think if I've ever like successfully gaslit someone. I don't think I have.
I told you about this last time that I played the cover of "Everybody Wants to Rule the World." That was for a soccer championship called "Everybody Wants to Run the World."
Right.
I convinced my dad it was the real one.
He's a silly guy.
He's kind of a goofball.
I don't think I've ever like successfully gaslit someone about like anything like good. It's always like just some random little bullshit. I'm not very good at spinning tales. I hate when people trick you and they go, I was just pranking you. And it'll be like some shit where I spend like 20 minutes like looking for my keys and I had it the whole time. Like
That's dickish.
That wasn't funny.
That's dickish. That is dickish. That is fair to say. There's a good line and a bad line for pranks. I mean, there's a fine
What's like a topic you like?
topic I like.
I can't believe you don't like Ex Machina. I can't believe you don't like Blade Runner.
I like
I
Blade
can't
Runner.
fucking believe you don't like.
I like Blade Runner, but you have to think about things.
I fucking think. What are you talking about? I thought about the fucking movie. First of all, the first time I watched it, I like was late to class and I missed the part where he has the unicorn dream. So I didn't know that plot line was there. So at the end, I was like, "What the fuck is the point?
What the fuck is that?
What is that?" Yeah, but he is supposed to be a replicant.
Yeah.
So I was thinking about it because I was thinking about with Ex Machina. I was realizing that there's like not like a conscious. That is just like a robot like making decisions and deciding this is the decision to go along.
I guess.
If that happened in real life, right? If you actually were in like a room with an AI.
Oh my god. Donatello's just dying over there. He's collapsed on the ground. Oh my god, he's just convulsing on the floor. Spit and drool everywhere.
If you were actually in that room with the robot, right? What I would
if I'm in the room with the robot, right?
What I would realize
First
is
of
like,
all, I'm kissing it.
but that's okay. Listen,
Give it a big kiss.
the whole like thing in the movie is like, oh, it's like a real person because it wants to be free, but it's not, right? Like,
I don't know.
No, but the truth of the matter is like that is like just like a robot like deciding decision. Like this is the best algorithm based decision.
Is that also what the brain does, though?
I suppose, but like, listen, there's like a clear cutoff difference that fucking robot is a robot. The guy made it. We know that.
People are made to other people.
I was kind of thinking that like the concept of an AI and a robot that like if its body dies, it dies. That is kind of just people.
Yeah.
Because they just form schema and decide how they feel about things, and that's like.
I just don't know. There's no good way to answer that question. I mean.
Well, you have said, the robot thing is replicating how we work.
Yeah.
It is just the same thing, but the question is like. I don't know. I do think we are a little bit more than our facilities. Because I did used to think we were just, the brain is like where our consciousness is. And like the stomach probably influences you hormonally and stuff like that. But separated from those things, people do have like, maybe not the brain, but like when you're separated from your stomach, you don't like cease to be. You don't like undergo a major change. You're still like you mostly.
I don't know. I have no idea. I mean, we can't observe it, so we don't really know anything about it.
I get what you mean. I mean, imagine people that's like stripped of like all their hormones.
Yeah, that'd be
like,
weird.
would they just be like an emotionless mess?
I don't think so. I don't know that.
Because like
We should try it.
well, I'm so sure that somewhere in like a
Some
basement,
fucked up guy.
yeah, some fucked up
in the
basement.
1970s.
No, I'm
did
sure
this
like right
experiment.
now there's like some guy in like a medical CIA lab. They just like what happened and they did it. I'm sure they do a lot of this shit
A lot
still.
of fucked up shit.
I don't know. I do kind of feel like we are like our own thing, kind of like inhabiting this. Kind of like how the AI would be like downloaded into a robot's body and it's like forced to live in there. That's just if the robot stops
don't
being,
know.
it just dies. That's it.
I think we're probably a product of like our bodies, but something happens.
I think we're a product of our bodies, but like because of like all that coming together, there is like this new like one self.
Maybe.
It is kind of interesting to think about though. Everything doesn't have to exist, but it does. So that's kind of cool. That's kind of like a maybe. Like maybe. Probably not.
Donatello's give a thumbs up there for the record.
Probably not though. Probably just like infinite black forever. But most of the time when I sleep, it's just that. Do you have dreams most of the nights?
I can never tell. I don't think I know what a dream is, honestly. Because I'll be like, wow, I had some weird thoughts last night. Was it a dream or not? I really can never like. There's not a clear line. I feel like I'll be like thinking, and then suddenly some shit will be happening, you know, and then I'll go back to thinking, and then I'll be awake.
Well,
like
you never had like a symbolic dream. You never have a dream where it's like, oh, that was clearly about that. My brain does that all the time.
I have stress dreams about stuff. I had one about drinking once. I feel like, or I tried alcohol one time. Right. And then the next day, I was vomiting out my ears. Like I would be like sneezing. I would go, and then it was like, like it would spew out of my ears. Right. And I was like, what's going on? Am I okay? And I went to my parents. My parents were like, that's just what happens when you drink.
That's not very helpful advice.
Suck it up, basically. And I was like, oh my God. And I was like, it was like convulsing. Do you have like sleep paralysis? Where like your brain's still awake, but your body's falling asleep and you can't move and you're like there conscious?
No, because I'll do the flinch awake. Where
But can you fall into sleep paralysis?
No.
Really?
No.
I kind of drop it.
I've had like one time where I think I dreamed I was sleep paralysis because I was laying on my front, so I didn't know if my eyes were open. But I was like, I have to get up. And in my dream, I thought there was like a demon next to my bed. So like, I have to get up.
Have you got like Tony Soprano type dreams?
That's like what happens in dreams. Is like you'll be sitting in a car with like specific people, and like they'll say something to each other, and it's like
that is not my.
That dreams. Means something.
That's never my dreams.
Those happen.
My dreams are incomprehensible.
I honestly have forgotten to like record the last 3 dreams in my dream journal.
You have a dream journal?
I do have a dream journal.
Really?
I've been keeping my dream journal for a little over a year probably.
Wow.
But I only have a couple. I think I have like 20 dreams. Maybe more. But I've forgotten to like write down the last like 3 of them. So I've been slacking a little bit. I don't know if the dream journal's worth it or not. I really don't. I don't know if there's any gain.
Does it do anything for you?
I don't know. I really don't. I mean, I don't know. Maybe writing them down helps me remember them. But it always feels weird writing anything down because it is, again, that like, am I writing for just what I think, or am I writing like what I think like people will think looks good when they read it? So
yeah, I do that.
I try to like just keep it a buck, but I don't know.
I saw dark flames. I was wreathed in. I had 1 angel wing and 1 devil wing.
Is that from something?
No.
That's original?
Just riffing.
You're Griffith? Berserk was like my favorite piece of media of all time.
Really?
Yeah.
Better than Evangelion?
Yeah, dude. And Vagabond is really good right now.
Couldn't be me. The manga I read is all like...
Well, I have to say, because you're like going through like the biblical texts and like all like the major things. I'm definitely going through like the big sign-in manga right now.
Really?
I read Berserk. I'm going to read Vagabond.
I kind of gave up on the Bible, to be honest with you.
It's just boring.
It's kind of boring.
I gave it a shot one time and I thought it was boring.
The manga I'm reading is like the fed-up office lady wants to serve the villainess. Like
I can't.
Like I read that shoujo shit.
I can't bring myself to care.
That slice of life for coma. I mean, get out of here.
Luckily, Vagabond has avoided most of like the awful shit. Like the dude fighting for his life like bashes some dude's face into like a tree, but like fighting for his life, context of violence. So I'm like, all right. There's a guy there's a monk who has like a bald head, so I'm kind of like, all right, I fuck with him. He's just like me for real. He cut down this guy with his mind, and I don't know what that means, bro. It's like hard to explain because it's manga, bro. It was like a panel of like a fearsome warrior, and then he blinked, and it was just the guy standing there, and he like dipped, and he was like, he cut me down with his mind. And I was like, what does that mean? I'm reading the good shit though. I'm reading what the people want.
Couldn't be me. I'm just playing garbage.
What do you think's more fun to watch? Me playing like Dragon Age Inquisition or you playing like all of Elden Ring?
I don't know if you'd like Inquisition though. I mean,
I probably wouldn't. Well, I played Deus Ex, which you were like, you wouldn't like this game. And I fucking loved it.
Well, because you played it differently than I was. I was imagining my style of playing, which is like slow stealth, and I was like, I don't know what to do. And you just like rolled through like an action game, just shooting people.
I think like a fun like video would be like, you're playing of like through a level and then me like next to it and like just comparing. I did try to sneak around a lot. That game was like really creative with like all the places you could go and the ways you could interact with areas. I loved it. I feel like Elden Ring doesn't really reward exploring enough. I'm always like hitting walls in the back of a dungeon like this is it. This is the fucking fake wall. I never get it.
The only reason I would replay Dragon Age, which I want to do, is for different story outcomes. Like, what if I chose to side with the Templars instead?
Well, I have to decide what ending I'm going to do for Elden Ring.
Ooh. Do the good ending. Don't do the bad ending.
The loathsome dung eater ending?
No.
I might do the loathsome dung eater ending.
Ooh.
It's where you become the loathsome dung eater.
Ooh.
He defiles your corpse. He said that to me. I don't know what he means. I'm scared.
That's not good.
What are some other what's the topic you feel very passionately about right now? Do you feel like Asian hate is like a bad thing? We're just trying to get your stances here. We just want to like see what you think. We're just vibe checking the podcast.
This is the question: do you think hatred is good or bad? I'm pro hatred usually, but Asian people, no.
Not Asian people?
No, not for Asian people.
They shouldn't be allowed. I decided I would definitely go to China. I think like the prime China trip is like
I would rock
land in
China.
like Beijing, see like modern city China, like because you go to America, you go to New York. Then I would like go to like outskirts kind of city where it's like things start getting a little rough. Like they eat like chicken heads or like tarantulas. I'm talking like when you get to there and like see what's up, and then like rural China, and then head out.
Hop out to Mongolia.
Well, no, because hold on. I was saying this to my dad. When you get to like Tibet and Mongolia, you're on a whole nother trip now. Because this is like beautiful sightseeing kind of trip when you get to these places. You see like the mountains of Tibet?
Yeah, but
it's fucking beautiful.
It's you get there at the end of China. I mean, like...
the China trip's got to be
the top part of China is called Lower Mongolia. It's the same shit up there.
The China trip is me seeing what's going on with China. It's... putting my finger on the pulse.
I'm here to figure it out.
But like to visit Mongolia and Tibet, that would be like a sightseeing, like hiking kind of trip, I feel. That's like its own thing.
Would you go to stop the Dalai Lama?
What happened, bro?
You go put your head
Do
like,
you
not
think
cool,
that was
bro.
just like he had like a bad take? Like maybe he was joking and it translated weird?
I don't know what that was.
I mean, honestly, when he said it, it seemed like he was laughing like it was just like a weird Tibetan joke. I don't know. I'm not trying to like rep him or nothing. I'm just saying it's kind of what it seemed like. I mean, the Dalai Lama shit kind of seems like bullshit. Because here's my thing. That I'm thinking: how come all the Dalai Lamas have been Asian? Why? It can be anybody.
Maybe it's random luck. It's like flipping.
Oh, that's really fucking lucky. Because
getting heads every time.
Our boy Tenzin is like I think he's like 19. So it's been like 19 Asian dudes.
Most
in a row.
people are Asian.
How come they haven't had like an African Dalai Lama?
Maybe they have.
I gotta be honest with you, Chief. I don't think they've had.
What if they got it wrong one time?
Well, that's my point.
And it was actually an African guy.
Like, do you think like their racism kind of like prevented them from like following the proper line of succession? They were like, it fucking
it cannot be this guy.
It can't be like
Jock. It can't be Keith.
Yeah, it
There's
can't
no
be
way
Keith.
It's Keith.
Because like I don't know, it's a little sus that it's been like 14 like. Well, I googled it. The first one was just like some community leader. First of all, he wasn't even like a chosen one kind of guy. He was just like some guy who was like very popular in the Buddhist community. And after he died, they deemed him the Dalai Lama. So it's like bullshit
so, like,
to
the
start.
The second guy was like the first Dalai Lama?
Mm-hmm.
That's weird.
But I thought it was supposed to be like maybe Buddha was reincarnated and he's like the chosen one guy kind of guy to lead us. No, he's just some fucking guy.
Just some guy.
Some guy who was like really fucking like popular. And then after he died, they were like, well, that guy was kind of the leader.
We should bring him back.
I guarantee you if you check, it's going to be like the second guy was like his disciple or something. Like it probably didn't even follow the reincarnation rule.
I think it was the guy who got born out that. He was like, yeah, that was me. That was
There's
me.
a movie where they find some white kid and they're like, you're not the Dalai Lama, you're the Dalai Lama. He's like the second in command. And he's like, but I'm white. And then his parents are like, well, his parents are like, yeah, no, our son's not your like fucking dumbass. I think they made up a Buddhist position where it's like the second in command to the Dalai Lama.
Is this like a prank?
No. They're following the ritual for the second in command. It's this kid, and they're like, it's you. And he's like, no. And they like harass him for the rest of the movie. They're like, you're like our guy. You're him. And he's like, maybe I am him.
That'd be kind of funny if it happened to me, honestly.
That'd be funny to have it happen to you.
Versus you would tussle with him.
No, I'd be like, that's me, sure. But I would definitely be like talking to all the lady monks, though. I would be like,
You're not allowed to do that, I don't think.
I would change the rules. I'd be like, okay, what are you going to do? Am I not the guy now? I'm the guy. You can't un-guy me. No, literally, once they've said I'm the guy, there's nothing they can do. I'm going to be like, I need to be at the temple with all the lady monks. They're cool with it. I'm cool with it. Everyone else can be mad. I hate to break it to you.
I mean, like, how does it work? How do they like figure out who it is?
Well, when the Dalai Lama dies, his face, whatever way his face is facing, they walk that way, and they legit do the Avatar thing with the toys.
They do?
Yeah. I
feel like I'm being sensitive to say the Avatar thing, but I was like wondering if it was
no. They do the toys. They test the Dalai Lama,
thing.
And I think it's supposed to be like the first guy or whoever. I don't know, whatever the guy is supposed to be. they'll like that the kid picks toys like that he picked or like are associated with traits like him, and they're like, oh, it's him.
It's him.
It's like up to the people like walking to pick who it is. Pretty much. They just kind of like, oh, it's him.
No, it's like what Lenin said in an election. What matters more than the voter is the vote counter.
No, I think the votes matter more. I mean, if you're just a piece of shit and you lie, like, all right, I guess. But, like, ultimately, the will of the people.
You know what Mao Zedong once said, Donatello?
What's that?
Women hold up half the sky.
You know, I was thinking about it. Everything would really just be better if we gave up country.
I don't know.
Well, if we just decided to completely dissolve a sense of identity amongst, like, our neighbors, like, just give up being American and German and all that. And we were just like, all right, distribute all of our resources among the people. That's like the ultimate goal, huh?
Yeah, but I mean, like, there's some fun cultural stuff. They're like, oh, these German guys are German, you know? Like,
I think most of the cultural stuff is not fun. I think most of the cultural stuff is like people in Europe being like, the fucking Germans. I think it's a lot less fun.
I think it's fun when you're like, oh, he's so French. And he acts like a French person.
Right, but in terms of like economics, like, why not just put it all in one bank account?
Oh, yeah.
Like, let's just like, we have way too much food over here. Distribute some of it to like places where they need it.
Common sense.
I say we kill every celebrity. I mean, a lot of those celebrities are like, well, first of all, major pollutants are like, I think China is the biggest one.
Probably. I mean, they do a lot of industrial stuff.
I think we're like third. But I think I saw the numbers and we were like less than half.
You know what's number one in the U.S.?
It's us?
It's the military.
Yeah, that's the only thing. Because like when we... One bank account, we don't really need so much of that. My favorite thing was like all of like 2021, 2022 was like that meme where it was like the U.S. government ad where it was like the girl who's like, my parents are lesbians. And people were like, we're fucked if we get into a war with Russia. And then they compared it with the Russia military ad where it was like dudes hitting pull-ups. And then we watched them immediately just like be incompetent, like not able to do shit in Ukraine. Just like the nothing. Like, wow.
People are dipshits.
Well, not even just like militaries are probably just fucked in general. I have a new position
I've decided, Donatello.
What's that?
I'm pro woke now. I love wokeness.
I mean, sure. What are some of your opinions?
I just think
how do you feel about Israel?
I'm pro woke.
Yeah.
Whatever the woke outcome is.
Well, the woke. I think the woke ultimately decided that Israel needs to go.
The woke decided that, then I follow the woke.
That was a fun one to be right about. I remember saying that shit a long time ago.
That's the thing I always wonder is like, what if like we just didn't colonize the U.S. and then like Native Americans just kept going for an extra like couple hundred years?
Someone was telling me they couldn't have possibly progressed past a certain point because they didn't have pack animals, which wouldn't have pushed them to make like the wheel.
But they could have done something else.
They could have done something else, but like, I was going to bring up Africa, but they were also like a crazy civilization before we were even aware of them.
They were doing some crazy stuff in Africa.
Well, what happened? Because we like, not we, I shouldn't say we, not the white people, but I mean like Europe's civilization caught up to a point where they could surpass them.
I do not know.
I mean, we literally did it with China when they didn't develop gunpowder. That was like a real, like, that was like progress one kind of thing. Well, we also did all the opium on their people. But like,
we did mess them up.
The big thing was like gunpowder beat out the spears.
Didn't Chinese people invent gunpowder?
I know that we fucking, not we again, not we.
Yeah,
but the English.
This is your Roman blood speaking.
No, but the English did fuck them up with guns. I was under the impression.
Maybe, I don't know.
And that was like the big thing. And then they had the Boxers' Rebellion where they believed that they could channel their chi to become bulletproof. And that did not work.
Would have been so cool if it did, though.
That would have been cool. That was probably the opium contributing a little. They were like hitting the...
Going Neo mode.
I watched a movie. It's a Donnie Yen movie. And it's like this dude who's like living in China right before the Chinese Exclusion Act. And the end of the movie is basically he has to fight a fighter from like France, England, and Japan to, I think, basically repeal the Chinese Exclusion Act. I don't know, bro. It was like the weirdest movie of all time. But he beats them all up, and then he dies at the end.
That's sad.
He gets assassinated. It's definitely like a Chinese, like, national kind of movie. Like, it's definitely like a Chinese pride
That's kind of cool. I want to see those.
The movie was fucking good.
But I was like their Rocky stuff's gotta be cool.
I know. Well, this is kind of that. He's like a fighter kind of guy, and he like falls from grace, and he comes back, and then he like fights for his country, and he like stops the Chinese Exclusion Act by fighting these dudes, and kind of like saves his country. First of all, nothing fucking beats Rocky. Rocky's like the ultimate like regular guy story. Nothing beats that. Nothing beats like the 80s like Russian scare beating up Ivan Drago. At the end, he's not even mad with Ivan Drago. He's like, if I could change, and you could change. And I don't know. He just says something about changing. You never seen all the Rocky movies?
No,
they're like good.
Haven't seen a single one.
Well, Rocky 1 is like Sylvester Stallone. He didn't want to sell the script, and they're like, they just kept like drop. He wanted to be in the movie. He didn't want to like sell the rights and like have some other guy do it. So they're like, all right, well, we'll give you like $6,000 to make the movie then. He's like,
Kind of did it.
Well, he did. He like filmed mostly at night because he couldn't get film permits to film in public. So like most of the scenes are at night. Anything in the day is like in a public place, like when he runs along the docks to the when he runs along the water against the boat. That's just like a public park. He's like yellow in the movie because he's like not eating. He looks bad. He looks bad. He's like he's like juicy, but like his skin's a little yellowy. He looks a little sickly.
Huh.
He bought back his dog with some of the budget for the movie. He had to sell his dog. So for some of the money from the movie, he like bought his dog back. Yeah, no. Rocky is like Sylvester Stallone made it happen.
Damn.
That's why that movie. He's an Italian-American folk hero. Speaking of Italian-American heroes, Columbus. Listen, the reason we have Columbus Day, they wanted to give us a day.
Honestly, I don't think Italian Americans deserve it.
Well, you know what they've been doing is they've been saying October is Italian Heritage Month, which it's not the same as a day. We need to have a fucking day because we used to have the Columbus Day parade. That's the big thing.
You can have it the first of the month.
You got to name it something. Italian Day? We don't fuck with that.
Italian history.
You got to pick another guy.
Are you mad about Black History Month? I mean, like, should they have a day too?
If I was black, I would prefer a day to a fucking month, yeah. I would prefer a holiday where we got a parade. Do people still care about Black History Month?
I feel like it's mostly a school thing, honestly. It's mostly like you show up to school and your history teacher is like, you're going to have lessons about slavery.
I learned a lot about black people in school, personally.
Yeah, I learned a fair bit too.
I learned a lot about... What did I learn about? I learned a lot about like Rosa Parks and shit, actually. We spent a long time on that in elementary school. My teacher in like elementary school told me she was a plant. I don't know if that's true.
Yeah, they were like activists.
You think she was like, today I'm going to not move my seat?
Yeah, it was like a strategy to like get
so
right.
It was,
I mean,
she was
it was like a thing.
Which I'm willing to accept. I also learned about like... Were you learning about like...
I was in your classes.
South America and like Simone Bolivar and all those dudes? Because that shit was dope.
Really? I don't know if I did or not.
Like South American independence.
Yeah.
That shit was dope.
Oh, yeah, we did do that. That was
Simone Bolivar was... There was another guy who was like a dude from...
I was asked this recently, ranking your top 5 revolutions. For me, it's got to be like Haitian Revolution #1, Russian Revolution #2, like Chinese #3, maybe Boxer #4, Power Gap American. American is like bottom tier.
I'm not really into revolution so much because it always feels like it always paints in a negative light for me because I always think of like the assassination of Julius Caesar.
Kind of fun.
Cowardly.
It's kind of fun.
But there is the glory of the Russian Revolution where those dudes were like, we need to like make a change, and they fucking did it. Coolest revolutions are definitely like the Russian Revolution is like the coolest one. Like those dudes came in and they fucked shit up. They were not playing. They killed the king and his family in their basement. Not playing.
French Revolution's in there too. French was
cool. The French Revolution, I get like big bitch vibes from. They were just killing too many people, and they got to a point where they killed Robespierre, right?
Yeah, they killed everyone.
Yeah, they didn't know what to do.
That was a certain part.
No. The Russians were like, we're killing these people. These are the people that are the problem. With the French, they kind of got ahead of themselves. They didn't really set their boundaries.
In the Chinese Revolution, there was one of the guys who was part of the royal family who was like, actually, communism is cool, and they like kept him around as like a farmer or something. Like he was just hanging out.
So I'm thinking Russian Revolution. Then I'm definitely thinking like the Scottish trying to fight for their independence against the English and losing.
The Haitian is cool.
What exactly were we referring? Oh, when they killed all the slave masters?
Yeah.
That was pretty cool. And who was the dude? There was like one dude who was like the goat of that revolution.
Yeah.
Who was it?
I don't remember who it was.
I don't want to say a name and be racist. Was it Frederick Douglass?
It was... Frederick Douglass is completely different.
See?
He is Civil War era Reconstruction.
Now I'm racist.
Now you're a racist.
I'm thinking, all right, so Russian Revolution is up there.
Toussaint Louverture. That guy. He was the guy.
I'm thinking Russian Revolution. Then I'm going to put the Scottish failing. I'm thinking like the American Revolution. Maybe the Haitian Revolution.
American.
Well, there's also the South American.
Yeah, they're a cool one too.
Yeah, because Simon Bolivar is like
Mexican.
slipping out of windows as like officials are coming to like arrest him. He's like pretty cool. All right, I changed my mind. Russian Revolution, South American Revolution, then the Scottish, then like Napoleon coming back after he got exiled, part 1. I'm gonna call that a revolution. I don't know. I'm not really like familiar with revolutions. I'm like, that's not like my favorite part of history. I'm big on like the Roman Republic growing to an empire. I want to bring back Rome.
Oh my god. We should. I think they should just call it that still.
New Rome?
Yeah, like why not?
Well, Russia, that's Russia's big thing is they want to be like Rome.
Okay, that's lame.
Yeah,
that's
no, that's pretty lame.
That's cringe. If you're not
especially
actually,
since they're like, that's not.
if you're not actually Rome and you say you're like Rome, you're just like cringe. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no. I think that Putin's big thing is he wants a certain part that was technically the throne of Rome, and it's like in Ukraine or something. There's like a thing I saw about this where he wants to just be Rome.
The Lance of Longinus.
He wants to be Rome.
America wants to be Rome time pass.
America, they're kind of doing their own shit. We're like way different at this point. Well, I found out that a big thing about like the fall of Rome was that like kind of people were just kind of like selling out. I don't know. I can't articulate this well enough.
Well, they were just, they just like turned over to like the Gauls or whatever. They were just like, yeah, we're fine with you guys now. They just broke up.
Lame.
It's lame.
I honestly, my understanding of Rome is so fractured. Like, I don't understand, like, the major cohesive picture, but, like, I know, like, Julius Caesar got, like, the Senate had him assassinated and they're pieces of shit. But those guys aren't even the same guys as, like, any, like, the other major historical events.
It was a long time.
And China's been along longer than that. Do you think they're cooler than us? Do you think Chinese civilization is cooler than Western civilization?
I don't know enough about them yet.
I honestly, it might just be because I am a Western boy, but I kind of do think, like, the Western civilization is like the coolest thing of all time.
I have not read any I want to read the Chinese mythology stuff and see how it stacks up.
I remember reading shit in class from like Confucius and like just random bullshit. And I was like, it's always like garbage. It's always like pretty like C tier like major religion. Like
really, I want to read the stories. I want to read the stories. I want to see what's going on in the stories. You know,
it's not great. It's always like pretty like a literal shit.
Ugh, yeah.
It's always like the flatulating man creates the biggest storm. It's always like something like short like that. Well, you know about the gods, like Sun Wukong.
Vaguely. I mean, Journey to the West is kind of a big important story. It's kind of one of the main ones.
They also get like, what's it called? When they like kind of just take that shit over. Because like, when Chinese people start to believe in Buddha, they just like, Sun Wukong actually went to fight Buddha and he dropped a fucking mountain on him.
When I was reading all the ancient mythology stuff, I found out that apparently there's a bunch of like Indian folk tales that they were like, actually, the main hero of that story was actually an early reincarnation of Buddha. Like, they just like claim like, yeah, that was Buddha actually in a different life. Like, the snake there, that was Buddha.
I think you have to be enlightened for the reincarnation to start, no?
It'd be so funny. Imagine if like we took all the Aesop's fables and we're like, that guy whose chickens he didn't count before he hatched, that was Jesus Christ.
They kind of do that sometimes. Well, it's kind of like what Mormonism does, where they're just like, they just made up Bible canon. They're like, Jesus lived here in the USA. We're going to take a hard line. The podcast is going to take a hard line stance against Mormons. They're lying, dirty, greedy sacks of shit. Okay. I can say that definitively.
Okay. I think we can call it there for the podcast.
You going to take a hard line stance against Mormons?
I will as well, yes. I don't like them.
You don't like them? What don't you like about
them? The underwear.
They do exploit their people really bad.
That too, yeah. I mean, they're kind of culty.
They are very culty. I was there.
They're better than Jehovah's Witness.
I was there in Ohio. I saw it. It was weird.
Oh, yeah.
It was pretty scary. Because it's like homeless people. Homeless people everywhere in Ohio.
Really?
And then, like, they have a whole block where it's like a Mormon center. Yeah. Where they got churches and, like, school bullshit and, like, a singing place. And it's, like, this, like, super nice place and, like, just homeless people. All right. I think we should kill them with machetes in the streets.
Yeah. Yeah. Blow them up.
They're not that bad. You know what? We can't really blame the Mormons.
Mormons, you all right. It's like the end of the movie where you beat the Mormon guy in the boxing fight. You're like, you all right, man.
Well, it is kind of like most of them are just kind of like being people that are just being exploited. So, like, I don't know if I can really advocate for their murder, but it's got to stop.
Someone's got to do this. Someone. Let me know who I can talk to.
If I had to join a church, I would probably join like a Black Baptist church. Yeah.
One of the southern ones with the ladies with the big hats. Or they're like, oh.
They're into it.
I might go to one of those like crazy weird Appalachian ones where the priest like drinks like snake venom or whatever and then like says some crazy shit. That seems fun.
I just feel like you really got to feel passionate about it. And I kind of feel like it's always lame as shit when they got like the dude going like, and in the third day of the Lord, they wept. That's kind of weak.
You want someone to be like screaming that?
Yeah, no, honestly.
I believe in the third day of the Lord.
Honestly, I feel like that would be a very like involved experience if you were into that. I don't know. Well, I guess we could end the podcast there.
End it there.
Probably have to censor most of it.